Hello everybody out in YouTube land, Upchurch. Well, this right here, folks, will be the last video you see me do. I don't care who comes back and says what or how or when. This is it for me. I'm not a YouTuber. Unfortunately, it was an attempt to reach out to my son, who I think is having a breakdown due to the fame. Not really the fame, but what comes along with it. The stress. He's handled it so well for years, but I've sat and I've debated over everything and sitting and taking the time to think about what I know and the way his life has been. I think the stress has finally got to my son, Ryan. I think the stress from people who are fake as fake can be, the fake friends. I think, when you feel like nobody's real and everybody in your world is fake, in Ryan's own words, he said, I don't have a friend anymore. Everybody wants something. They may come to my house and act excited to see me, but before they leave, they have interest in something I own or ask me to help them do something. And there's been lots of family members that have acted like he's the bank, and I guess what I'm trying to say is the pressure from everything of the fame and fortune. Ryan done it on his own. He's an incredible artist. He has crazy writing skills. We knew that from the very beginning. But I think, and I may be wrong, I have no idea because I still have no contact with Ryan. But I think the pressure from the business and the people around him, not just the immediate people around him, but all the people around him, come at him for money and cars and trucks. And you old heads out there, man, when that old kind ass old boy starts just handing out stuff, man, it's like feeding a fucking cat. They don't go away. But anyways, my thing there is just, I don't really know what's going on with Ryan still. I don't know. I have a clue what I've done to him for this to start, but I'm scratching it up in my head that the stress of it all has finally got to him. But I'd like to say something to Uncle Will. You caught me on a bad day, Hoss. I had spent a month trying to reach out to my son to find out what was going on. I was being told things that a father don't want to hear about his son. It sounded to me like he needed some major mental help, and that he might be a threat to himself. And probably hadn't slept in a good week. No real sleep. I couldn't reach out to him. He's cutting brothers off, and I just couldn't get an answer from anybody. And then that video came out where he was ranting again, and then I see Uncle Will's video, and I still to this day, I believe that a man should keep his nose out of another man's business. Ryan Upchurch is my son, no matter what anybody says. He's Patty's son, no matter what anybody says. And to be quite honest, it's nobody's business what's going on. And I know Ryan is the one that stuck it out there for whatever reason. I still, to this day, I do not know where I come involved in this whole thing. And if Ryan, if you're listening, son, I just would love just you to answer that for me in any form or fashion. I don't wish anything bad on you. You know that. But getting back to Uncle Will, I'm sorry. This video may go sidetracked 5 times. I'm just some old dumb fucker that paints for a living. But I called you a stupid motherfucker. No, I'm sorry. I called you a stupid son of a bitch. And I'll be quite honest, man. After I calmed down later that day and thought about that, I really and truly felt like a piece of shit. And I'll tell you why. Because that's one thing that I will not tolerate for anything. I've got the best mother in the world. My mother was God sent for sure. Anybody that knows who my mother is don't have one bad word to say about her. And my mom used to beat every kid's ass in the neighborhood. And that's no shit. I've got friends today that when we were kids, they hated my mom. But they ask me about her every time I see them. You know, they love my mom. She's just the best thing ever. Anyways, that's me getting sidetracked again. Man, I called you a sorry son of a bitch. And I'm trying to give you a heartfelt apology. I don't like the fact that you stick your nose in my business. And I'm telling you, brother, I'm stressed out to the max at the moment. But I hope you accept it. And if you don't, I'm sorry. Truly. When I was 16 years old, I got into it with old boy at West Park, community I grew up in. And it was words exchanged and a couple punches. And he got the worst end of the deal. And I got about a block away, and he called me a son of a bitch. Now, to me, all you're saying is my mama's a bitch. And I'll never forget that day. I chased the kid down, caught him in a basketball court outside. And when he curled up in a ball after I beat on him for 5 minutes, I was so angry I stomped his head until my parents had to pay for an eye surgery. You know, that's just how it was in my neighborhood. Somebody didn't, you know, when the fight was over, the guy that got his ass beat didn't get up and walk home. You know, he didn't get up at all for 30 minutes, an hour. Somebody came and got him. He went to the hospital. That's just the way it was in my neighborhood. Now, I'm not claiming to be a badass. I'm not that guy. I don't start shit. I never have. You know, I've learned over the years, you know, a man can say anything. It's when he puts his hands on you, that's the difference. You know, people can say whatever they want about me. The older I've got, the softer I've got, and I thank God for that. I have been on the verge of killing a couple people. God's honest truth. I had a knife in a guy's stomach in Bellevue one night, ready to rip him open. And the boy was supposed to be one of the meanest people around Bellevue. I went by myself, literally. I got him down in some bushes, and I went to rip him clean open. And the fear in his eyes, the boy started crying. And I spit in his face and walked away. The second guy shot at me. That's a fucked up feeling. I chased him for about 2.5 miles through the woods. Ryan will remember this. He got shot at too. When they shot at me, it scared me to death. I didn't know they had a gun. But when they shot at my son, he jumped back in his truck and took off back to the house. I was so furious that they shot at my son that my 50, maybe 50 at the time, year-old ass, chased them for at least 2 miles through these Cheatham County woods. And I don't know where the energy or the strength came from, but I caught 2 of the sorry son of a bitches. I kicked one so hard in his ribs that he passed out. I thought I killed him. And I made the other one strip down butt naked because I thought he was the one with the gun. Come to find out, it was another guy. I was so mad that after I caught these guys, my shotgun was completely empty. They didn't know that. I did. I counted the bullets through my head, was like, holy shit, I'm out of bullets. But I never let them know that. I stuck that 12 gauge shotgun in that boy's head, and he, just the look in his eyes, you know, he knew he'd fucked up, you know. It's that moment where he knew he fucked up. If I'd have had a bullet that day in that gun, I hate to say this, but I was so fucking mad that day, I would have killed that boy. Now, those are boys, they've went to prison for 20 years. Judge said they'll never get out. She'll make sure of it. Not for 20 years. But anyways, Gail, you lost it. I try to call and talk to you on the phone like 2 adults. You know, I get it, you're mad. I don't know what you're thinking in your head. I've never had a problem with you. I've had problems with multiple people in that family. I've never had a problem with you. And yes, you've known me since I was 18. I've known you since you were licking snot, right? Never dreamed of the day that something like this could happen to me and you. But it did. And you went on there and you try to tell people that I was a piece of shit because I called your son hillbilly. The God's honest truth. I hear everybody call him hillbilly. I meant nothing by calling him hillbilly. Not one thing. I have absolutely nothing but respect for Billy. Absolutely. And the reason why I have that is because of Ryan. The people that hang out with Ryan, you know, 99% of them, they're there for what they can get. We all know it. They're all titty suckers. He's their sugar daddy. The only person that he has ever told me that's never asked him for anything is Billy Wayne and Belu's. I'll never change that because that's what I was told. That means more to me now than it did before because I'm starting to understand what's going on with my son. He's under so much fucking pressure that he's about got to the breaking point. Anyways, a lot of them, they just stand over him, you know, and just drool over what he has, and they can't stop saying, oh man, I wish I had one of them. I wish I had one of them. Ryan's so fucking kind-hearted, he'll give you anything he has, and they know it. But Ryan is sitting right here in my house venting, and he has told me that Billy Wayne and Belu's are the only 2 people that don't fucking wear him out for free shit. They've never asked him for anything. Everything that Billy's got over there, that was a gift from Ryan. Now, I'm not going to say he hadn't gifted stuff to other people. I'm just telling you what he's told me. You know, it's like vultures. He's, at one time, for 6 months, all I heard out of Ryan was, I don't have a friend. I just don't have any real friends. You know? And I think when Billy first came back to work for Ryan, you know, it seemed like the stress went away a little bit. But anyways, I meant absolutely nothing by calling Billy Wayne hillbilly. That's what I thought everybody called him. And Billy, if you was offended by it, I know you said you wasn't. I really hope you wasn't. But if you was, I'm sorry. Oh, Gangster Gail, man, you said that you took up for Patty her whole life. I've known you since you literally licked snot from your own nose. I've never knew of you ever getting in a fight, ever. The only fight I do know of you getting in is when the lady up the street from you and your husband's house, your original husband, found out that you was fucking her old man. Yeah, you fought that night. I wasn't there. I know a bunch of people that were. And here's what I was told by multiples. That if Patty hadn't showed up and saved your ass, that lady was about to beat the fuck out of you. Patty shows up, jumps in, breaks the lady's leg, and that was it. Now, if I'm missing something, maybe you could update us, man. But that's about all I remember. And that's not me taking up for Patty. That's the fucking truth. You said that me and Patty get on there and call everybody a cult, man. I wish you would find one fucking quote, video. I don't give a fuck what you find. I like to see one time you see me call it a cult. I call them the 2%ers. I'm going to tell you why I do. First 5 concerts I went to, I bought a fucking ticket like a normal person. I didn't have to. I bought like 20 tickets for me and friends, my wife. And I went through the front door like a normal fan. I went to the bar and I partied like a fucking rock star with people who were exactly like me. Now, when we decided to do that, I was a little worried at first because I thought, man, people's going to realize you're his daddy. And it might get a little weird, because it does. No. When people found out who I was, man, people bought me drinks. I bought people's drinks. We fucking laughed. We danced. We high-fived. We hell yeah. We took pictures. I met the fucking coolest people ever. I've probably been to 30 concerts as a young man. Best concert I ever seen was my son's. And I think the thing was the people. The people were just fucking like me. That being said, that's the 98%. And then you got the 2%ers. The weird motherfuckers that got a dent in their jeans, a whole fucking rusty spot, something's crooked in there that just makes them a little fucked up. The people that'll come from another country to climb your fence at night, to knock on your door, not realizing that they could get shot in the face or ate up by a dog. Just to knock on your door to go, oh, hey, Ryan, it's you. Normal fucking people don't do that shit. They just don't. And these people that get on the internet that have not a fucking clue to what they're talking about. Now, I know that Ryan has got on there and said some shit, but he has said some shit that's not true at all. And it's amazing to me that the number of people that don't have a life, or they can only say something negative with no proof, evidence, anything. And it's why this is my last video. Doing these videos does nobody no good. Nobody. I never thought I'd argue with anybody on the fucking internet. What? That's just stupid. It makes you feel like a fucking 2%er. Exactly what it does. So after tonight, this will be my last video. I don't care what anybody says, what anybody does. I eat breakfast, for anybody out there that needs to know, I eat breakfast at the same fucking place I've been eating for the last 15 years. Usually about the same time every day. I go out to work, Brentwood, Franklin, Belmead. I come back the same way every day. I'm not hard to find. Other people has threatened me before, and I told them the same thing. I'm not changing my schedule for some motherfucker that thinks he's going to just jump me. You know, I've been around a minute. You know, I'm no fool. I got a few health issues, but that ain't stopping me from swinging. And before I get jumped by a 30-year-old man, somebody that's less than half my age, well, there's a whole nother way to take care of that. Best thing I can tell you is hug your kids, kiss them, and tell them bye in the morning. Tell them you love them. But on that, Gail, I've never called anybody a cult. I mean, I get why people do. I mean, it's obvious why people do it. But for me, they're the 2%ers, you know. They got that dent in that gene. Chromosomes didn't come out right or something. You said that Ryan's bailed me out 1,000 times. Let me tell you something. I don't know where you get your information or whose mail you dug through or what kind of shit you're looking at while you're in that house over there. But Ryan has never bailed me out. Never. He has showed up at Christmas because he didn't want to go shop. And he's wrote a check. Like a really nice check. Now, don't get me wrong, it wasn't no exotic number or nothing like that. But it's enough to make you go, wow. And we take it and we split it with everybody and everybody enjoys it. He has bought me cars, trucks. One car in particular, this is the difference between me and these guys that just stand over and wanting shit. I've never asked him for any vehicle I have, not one. I've never asked him for not one vehicle. These vehicles were gifts. He brought me a 73 Mach 1. Beautiful, paint, you know, nice, big block. 4-speed in the floor. Dream car. Dreamed of having one since Little Willie, your brother, had one. Dreamed of it. Nice ass cars. I couldn't believe it. But I worked so much. My shop is full of race cars and a couple old trucks, and my race trailer is full of race cars. And my father-in-law's garage has got my 65 in it. And that Mach 1 sat out here in my driveway, and I think I drove it. I might have put maybe 60 miles on it. And about a year and a half went by, and I kept trying to wash it, keep it clean, and buy these nice car covers. And, you know, I seen the car going to waste. And like all the others, I didn't fucking jump on the internet and sell it for 40 grand. I called my son and gave him the car back. You know, he's nice enough to give it to me. You know, why sell it? Now, the people that are watching this, that they know who they are. I mean, there's one guy I can name, and I'm not going to today. I'm trying to be nice today and settle some shit. But think about that. You know who you are, the guys I'm talking to. The man gives you cars because you act like it's your dream car. And you ain't got the motherfucker sometimes a week, and you got it for sale. One of you in particular could sell $100,000 worth of cars in 6 months, living for free, and still ask the man for money. Now, how do I know that? Because Ryan told me so. Now, wasn't that nice? I didn't call you out on the internet. You ought to be thankful for that. But anyways, let's just move on. I'll rant and, you know, I'll drift on to somewhere else. It's what I do. I'm an old motherfucker. So, anyways, Ryan's never bailed me out. And, you know, he's wrote checks for me painting his house over there and stuff. And I think before I said Ryan has never loaned me money to bail me out or pay my workers, not a bailout. I think I did get in a bind one time. I had a factory going on in Alabama, a factory going on in Springfield, Tennessee. My company, I was working like 29 guys. We were bigger than we ever been. And money was running short because these big commercial companies, I didn't get paid for 130 and 160 days. And Ryan wrote me a check one time for $5,000. When I went to pay him back, he told me, don't worry about it. I made him take the check. You know, I've worked my whole life. I've never been a bum to nobody. Nobody. You said, Gail, old gangster Gail, you said that you watched me get bitched out. Well, when? Goddamn, I don't remember it. I mean, tell me what you're talking about. I mean, you sound like you're drunk or something. Hell, you look like you're drunk in that video. I said that, not even knowing, Gail. I never knew you drank or anything. And then I go around Ashland City and I find out, people start telling me, hell, she's an alcoholic now. I cannot believe that. I mean, I'm asking you, is that true? Are you an alcoholic, man? That's hard to believe. That really is. I mean, I called a couple guys out and said, I don't fucking believe you, but yeah, I actually heard it from a couple that pretty much would know. One of them's kin to you. And I'll wait to hear back on that. I won't make a comment. I'll just wait for you. I know you're dying. You look like you're just dying for internet stardom, you know, so I'll wait for that. But anyways, you know, you said, you ain't never stomped nobody's head in. You punk out or whatever you said. Yeah, actually, I have stomped a guy's head in. I have. Dude called me a son of a bitch. And after I done whooped his ass, and my mama was blocked behind me yelling for me to come home. And just something triggered in me. Like, he was talking about my mama. Hell, he wasn't talking about me. And when I chased him down and caught him inside that ball court, I beat on him for about 5 minutes. He curled up in a ball. When he curled up in a ball, I was so mad, I stomped his head. I stomped his head till I busted the sockets in the back of his eyes. You know, it cost my parents a little bit of money that they didn't have back then. He ain't the only person I stomped their head. There's been multiples. You know, I don't like being that person at all. You get older, you're supposed to get wiser. A person I've learned, you know, can run their mouth all they want. I've had a boy at the racetrack mouth me for 2 years now, you know, and he may be watching this video too. A man can say whatever in the fuck he wants, but when he puts his goddamn hands on me, that's a whole fucking different story. That's all I'll say about that. You said, me and Patty been talking about each other like dogs for years. I'll give you a point for that. You're exactly right. You was around back then. You know a little bit about what went on. You might not know what really went on. Hell, half the time I didn't know what was going on. But me and Patty squashed that 2 years ago. I asked her to forgive me for all the shit I said about her. Because I did for years wish she would just fall over dead. And that's fucking terrible. She's the mother of my kids. But you learn and, you know, we was kids, you learn and you get wiser. So, you know, I don't wish shit like that on nobody no more. And I asked her to forgive me and she did. She asked me to forgive her and I did. I hadn't had any problems out of Patty for years. And for the record, I don't talk to Patty. You seem to think me and her become buddies. But listen to me. When her son is threatening to do bad things and she can't talk to him, and Beluce ain't helping her, and he promised he always would, that's a whole nother story there. I've learned some shit a few days ago that, I mean, it's like the more you talk, the more you learn, and it's like the more you're holy shitting it. But anyways, she called me. And she sounded distressed. And when she told me what she told me, I didn't believe it. I didn't like fall for it. I started calling my sons. I can't get a hold of Aaron. I get a hold of Austin. He don't know anything. Ryan's got him blocked, you know. And And then this month-long thing goes on with me trying to get a hold of my son, thinking he's trying to hurt himself. And I got people making these videos, and people are saying shit, and you know, and I snap on the job site in Brentwood. That's when I, you know, made my video about Uncle Will. I don't even know the man. You know, I don't. I was mad, and I just didn't like what he said. I just feel like, you know, Ryan is my son, and he's Patty's son. And if either one of us died right now, it would kill him. He can say different all he wants. I know my son, you know. It's just the way it is. He's my son and he's her son, and everybody should stay the fuck out of our business. That's the way I see it, you know. Yeah, he's your nephew. Yeah, he's Billy's cousin. Hell, he's Austin's cousin. I mean, he's Austin's brother. Aaron's brother, Kendall's brother, Colt's brother, Matthew's brother. You know, people need to stay out of it. I know Ryan went online first and said all that shit. He didn't have to do that. I mean, if what he's saying true, it's all going to come out. And to just go on there and bash like that, it's not right, man. I don't care how much you hate somebody. I don't know how, so. But, so I was the bad dad, you know. I never raised my kids, your mama did. Thank God for Judy and Willie Burgess. I mean, thank God for them. They didn't just help me. They helped every fucking body. Willie didn't say no to nobody. He helped everybody he could. I make a living. I make more money than most doctors do in a year. I owe all that to Willie Burgess. The living that I do, was taught to me by that man. If he was alive right now, I can only imagine what he'd be saying. But I guarantee you one fucking thing. He'd be trying to fix it. He wouldn't be on here bitching and raising hell. He'd be trying to fix it. Judy, I'm sorry that I can only imagine what the mothers, the grandparents are doing. Like my dad's dead too. And I can only imagine what these grandparents are going through. And Judy and Mama, I'm sorry. But I don't know what's going on with my son. Gail, you said I'm just acting like a badass. I've never fucking been a badass. I don't want to be a badass, man. I mean, you talk like a gangster. What the fuck happened to you? I mean, really? Anyways, that's your life you're living. I'm living mine. I shouldn't even have said that. You know, I really shouldn't have. I'm trying to be a better person on here. But, this whole internet thing, man, it's stupid. It really is stupid. People ought to be on here trying to help each other. You know, why does it have to be such a negative thing? It's like everywhere you go on the internet, it don't matter what the hell they're talking about. Somebody is putting somebody down, and it's sad. It's really fucking sad. No, Gail, I'm not a badass. No, I'm not. Never have been. Never been a bully. I taught my kids. If Brian and them, they know this. All 5 of my kids know that if they bullied anybody and I found out about it, I would beat their ass in front of whoever they did it to. You know, I remember Ryan when he was in school. and he was getting bullied. The first kid that he broke from bullying him, man, I was so proud of him. He was scared to death. He said, Daddy, the boy's twice my size. He was in the first grade. He may have been in K grade, but I think he was in first grade. Ryan, you remember this. And you said, this kid's throwing rocks at me because I'm playing with the poor kid. And I remember that poor kid. I used to feel so sorry for him. But teachers wouldn't do nothing about it. You know, we told you to go back, and I hope you remember this, but I told you to make sure you told the teacher when they did it, and you said they do. I did, but they all they're talking about is soap operas. And so I taught you how to throw a punch, and I told you that if they did it again, that you tell that kid, if you throw rocks at me, I have to defend myself. He goes to school the next day. I get a phone call. I'm thinking, oh shit. My son done got beat up by some big old kid. I get down to the school. I go in. He's sitting in the office on a little bench. He looks scared to death. And the principal says, Mr. Upchurch, you cannot teach your kids to hit other kids. I looked at Ryan and I said, is it the same kid? He said, yes, sir. And I said, did he throw rocks at you again? He said, yes, sir. I said, did you tell the teacher? He said, yes, sir. And I said, did you tell the kid that you was going to defend yourself? And he said, yes, sir. And I said, and what'd you do? He said he wouldn't stop throwing rocks at us, so I hit him like you told me. Now, I see this kid when I come into school, who I think's in like the 4th grade, standing against the wall. Never thinking that this is the kid. And I realized that, damn, this is the kid. And I'm thinking, holy shit, I'm glad he didn't get his ass stoned. And then I hear the kid's dad outside, you know, basically saying he was going to whip my ass. Well, the police show up, and of course, he gave me down the road for a few minutes. And I explained to him, you know, you've apparently taught your kid to be a bully because of his size. And he learned his lesson today. And I asked the guy, you know, the police showed up. And they wanted me to leave first before he left. They wanted me to leave, and they was going to hold him for like 5 minutes. And I told him that I'll meet you right down the road, and I'll give you a lesson on bullying. But sidetracked again, that's just one of my stories with my son. There's not many, thanks to the judicial system. You said I was a bad dad, Gail. I was the best dad I could be. My kids had everything they ever wanted. You know, nobody bought or paid for anything for us. I lived next door to your mama. You lived down the road in one of their houses. I lived next door to them. I don't know how long. I think we lived there about 3 years. Let me tell you something. They never didn't get their rent from me. They never paid my light bill. They never brought me groceries every week. They didn't. Your mother's alive. Ask her. I fucking took care of my family like I'm supposed to. You can say whatever the fuck you want about me. I know what's true, man. You call me a bad dad? I see you walking down the road 2 or 3 days in a row in the same, you know, it was like the same time. And I thought, well, hell, Gail, she's trying to get in shape. But every day I noticed this guy 40 yards ahead of you walking up the road also. And then I find out he's married and you're fucking him in the creek against a tree or something, you know. Yeah. Star mom. Man. That ain't all, but I won't go into the rest of it. I probably should. I know there's some people that said I would, but I won't. You know, that's your business. I mean, you tell part of mine, I tell part of yours, right? Anyways, the people around here in Ashland City, they already know the rest of the story. But my thing was not to come on here and rant tonight, everybody. I'm done with the internet. Gotcha, man. Thank you so much for your help. Sorry that it ended up like it did. I promise you, I don't know if I made that mistake or how Johnny Gobble got the video. I just, I hate it. You guys are arguing, and that's what I'm saying, man. Just the internet thing, if it could be a more positive place, would be great, but it's just not. It's terrible, dude. Ryan, I love you. I still don't know why you are hating on me, but I've come to grips with it. I'm always going to be here for you. Always. I'll never turn my back on you. I love you, and you know I'm proud of you. You know how I feel about the drug thing. And you ever need me, you know where I'm at. I won't call you. I won't ask about you. I won't bug your brothers to find out how you're doing. I got 2 more kids to raise. They love you also. You know that. But if you need me, you know where I'll be. I love you.